Yes. Oh, yes. Oh boy. Oh, hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Royalty Soaps. Hello. So today's video is a very special one because I am not making one of my own designs. A while ago, I had an Instagram contest slash giveaway, and the winner got to design their own bar of soap. So I have been collaborating with the winner, Becca, on a soap design, and she was so thorough with her design. She even illustrated it for me, so I knew exactly what I needed to do. I'll lean over here to the side and put you guys a picture in so you can see what we're working with. It's a lily pad pond, which honestly I was so drawn to. She actually sent me a few designs, but I decided on this one because of Lily. And because I thought it'd be really interesting to try to mix a cold process and melt and pour soap. And I've done that in the past, but the base was mainly cold process, not melt and pour. So having melt and pour be the majority portion of the soap, I thought would be really cool to try out. If you aren't following me on Instagram, I have two. One for soap, one for family and personal stuff, and exciting things coming up. And without further ado, I hope you guys enjoy this video, and let's get started. We are going to begin first by mixing up the cold process because that is what's on the bottom of the soap. I'm gonna pour in my lye water solution directly into the oils. Then I'm gonna put my stick blender in, shake it a bit, get the air bubbles out, and we're going to blend. I'm gonna pour off just a little bit of the batch. I'm really not sure how much of the green I'm going to need, so I'm just gonna start with about half. For the color, I am using Green Vibrance Mica. And then I'm not gonna add any fragrance to this part of the soap, just because melt and pour soap holds fragrance a lot better, so I'm not going to waste it in this cold process. Now that this is blended up, it is time to pour into the mold. Today I am using a different soap mold than what I normally use. This one is from Nurture Soap. It's a little bit taller, a little bit bigger. I just felt like it was gonna be a better fit for this project. So I'm gonna pour the green in on the bottom. And then off camera, I have an identical mold that I'm going to be using. So I'm actually gonna be making two today. I'm gonna set the green that I have left over off to the side. And now it is time to mix up the melt and pour soap. In this silver pot, I have my melt and pour. This is my melt and pour pot. And I'm gonna be adding some of this blowout blue colorant. We're gonna start with a little bit, just a few drops like this, because I do want the water to be kind of see-through looking, even though it is tinted. I'm also going to add a few little spritzes here of the Super Sparkles Mica from Nurture Soap, based on the illustration, because the illustration looked like the blue was a little bit sparkly. And now that everything has been blended up, I can add the fragrance oil. So the fragrance that I'm using today is from Wholesale Supplies Plus. It's called Stormy Nights, and it's really, really pretty. When I first started kind of putting together my project list for this video, Stormy Nights was the first fragrance I thought of. Like, I instantly had a vision of what I wanted to use. It's kind of watery, it's got some florals in there. It's a really pretty blend of stuff. And now that everything is blended in, I'm gonna pour off some of this melt and pour into a smaller container so it's easier to work with. I wanna show you guys before I begin pouring that whenever I split some of the batch off, all these bubbles appeared on the top of the melt and pour. So I'm taking my 90% rubbing alcohol, giving it a quick spritz, and they all go away just like magic. I'm gonna pour this from up high because I want it to break up this soap right down the middle, just like that, because I want it to look like seaweed, so it needs to be kind of pokey. So having those lines is a good thing. I'm not going to mess with it after I've poured that. I am gonna kind of let this sit though and cool down just a little bit, because I don't want to mess up that design I've already created in there. After this is hardened up just a teensy bit, not a whole bunch, I'm gonna take some of this extra. You see, it's almost piping consistency now, and I'm just gonna kind of put it in and make it look spiky. I want to keep those spikes again, just like seaweed, so that they look nice and tall. Now that the little pokey bits are on top, I'm going to take my spatula and the melt and pour. I'm just gonna drip it over the top. It may displace some of the other melt and pour because not everything is set up yet, but as long as it doesn't displace the cold process, then that's fine. Yes, everything is going as planned. Having to stop here, one of the little cold process pieces came undone. I'm gonna try to attach it to another bit of cold process. Get down in there. There we go. I'm gonna keep on pouring very slowly. And a few little misplaced pieces of cold process is not a big deal. This is supposed to be kind of like a pond, and ponds do have random bits of plants floating about in there. The mold is now pretty full, so I'm gonna spritz the top. I've mixed up a little more green, and I'm just kind of pouring it into the melt and pour very gently. I'm wanting it to kind of make those little bubbles right there. You can see right here. And I'm just pouring it a little bit randomly so that some of it is sticking out a little more, some of it's a little closer to the side. And now I'm just taking the time to remove any bits I really don't like this bit right here. I think needs to be broken up into some pieces and not just one big like floating piece. And I'm gonna go ahead and spritz with rubbing alcohol. And now I'm just gonna wait until it's time to come back and finish up the top. I ended up letting the soap sit overnight because the melt and pour base was pretty sticky. So now I'm going to kind of map out where I want all of the embeds to go. So for this soap, because these embeds, these flowers, are relatively large, I really don't want to run any risk of any of them being cut up. So I'm going to cut the loaf into individual pieces before I put the embeds on top. And I'm just going to kind of glue them on with some melt and pour. But before doing that, I'm going to map out where they're going just to make sure that everything is going to fit properly. These little roses are from Amazon. There's an Amazon silicone mold that I used. And then I hand molded all of the lily pads. I ended up using just some leftover soap that I had from the original addition to the melt and pour. But if you're interested in molding soap dough and using it like a clay, you should check out Sorcery Soap. She has some that she already has pre-made that you can purchase, and she also has the recipes available to purchase if you're interested in making your own, and she has vegan and non-vegan options available as far as the recipes go, so everybody's covered. I can't recommend her enough. She's an absolute artist with soap dough. I don't come anywhere close to what she is capable of achieving, and it's really handy to just be able to buy a pack from her so you don't have to make your own. I'm gonna see here how everything kind of looks together. I laid it out separate, but I think it's always good to kind of eyeball everything to make sure that it's kind of a cohesive work. All of the bars will end up being chopped up anyway. I just like seeing it all laid out. And then some of the flowers I'm putting on here, I ended up dusting with some mica to help with the dimension a little bit. So this is what the soap loaf looks like from the top. It definitely looks like a lily pad pond. Honestly, I am really psyched with how it turned out, and I love the little bubbly bits that the cold process soap made underneath. I think that adds like just another extra touch of whimsy to it. I'm now going to set all of the little pieces off to the side in a straight line. That way I know which ones I paired with which and in what order I put them in, so that we can go ahead and make the cut on the soap. I can get 18 bars out of this loaf. I've already chopped one off, so I'm going to mark it now with my knife here. I am going to chop this with a cutter, just the single bar cutter. And I know you're not supposed to use it with melt and pour. I'm a very rebellious soap maker. I just happen to know that this melt and pour is really soft, so it's not gonna give the cutter a bunch of trouble. And it really is hard to cut these melt and pour loaves by hand. I still have not found a way to do that just with a knife and make it a straight cut. It's too hard for me. I'm gonna pop this on the cutter that I have from Bud's Wood Shop. And I'm just gonna press down gently, applying even pressure all the way down. This is what it looks like on the inside. And you'll notice when you use a wire to cut the soap, it kind of makes this, I don't know, it just looks a little bit different. So if you want it to look really clear, you kind of just scrape with a knife that first layer out. And then I like to go across again with a damp paper towel. I'm honestly so surprised that it looks as good as it does. I was really crossing my fingers for like more than half the time. I never actually thought it would look good. Because I'm new to using cold process with melt and pour like this. Like I've never done the majority melt and pour and then just a little bit of cold process. That's like a completely new way to do soap to me. After the bar has been cleaned up, it looks a little something like this. So I have a pipette here and a little bit of melt and pour that has been blended up and has sat a little while and cooled down and thickened. So it's it's just a few steps away from a gel. Gonna suck up a teeny tiny bit. By a teeny tiny bit, I mean this much. I'm gonna put a little bit right here, just like a glue. Push this flour down into place. And let's put the next piece right here. So we'll make a little blob like glue, and we'll just place our embed right here on top. And we'll place another little blob right here. Put another embed right there on top. So it's glycerin soap glue, if you will, and it holds these in place really well. And this is the final Rainy Pond soap look. Here's what it looks like on top. You see the lotus flower, and then we have the lily pad and another little flower there on top. And then of course we have all of the melt and pour on the inside, kind of like seaweed. And then I know the camera isn't picking it up really well, but you can see a few little sparkles on there, and they're a lot more noticeable in real life. All in all, I am really pleased with how these turned out. I think it's a pretty accurate representation of the artistry that Becca whipped up. I hope, Becca, that you really, really love these, and I can't wait to send you a bar. I also thought I would show you guys some of the little shorty bars that I made. These are the ones that I poured into the other loaf mold that was off camera. And I also poured some into individual molds. This one right here is really fun though, with the little bits sticking up out of the top. Then of course in the front, it looks really cool too. Such a fun little experiment to get to do this time. I should make more melt and pour and cold process combined soaps. My goodness, my child, you are so pale. You are so pale. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Thanks again, Becca, for your fabulous designs. I actually might do a few more of hers in the future because they were so good. This was a really fun video that I had a lot of fun making. If you enjoyed it, please give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. Leave me a comment down below. And question of the day, should I have Lily in more of my intros and outros? I'm pretty sure I know what the answer is going to be. And until next time, I hope you all have an absolutely fabulous day. If you fancy, you can click the notification bell so the soap fairy alerts you every time I upload a new video. And until next time, bye for now. Meow.